So like there's two stories I say. There's like the censored one and the non-censored one. The censored one is my brother would mention it occasionally. And I had an ex-girlfriend who did CrossFit and her coach would occasionally do Highland Games. So it was in my head. Plus I'm Scottish, so that helps. But actually during COVID, I was I was stoned one day and I was watching a documentary. I was like, I know what this is. And next thing I know, I was like, fuck it, I can do that. And probably like 3 months later, after just throwing rocks in my backyard, and I used to tie a chain around a cinder block to just throw for distance to kind of get the feel of it. I did my first comp and I got second place. No throwing experience, no track and field, literally just wrestling. My name is Christian McLellan, and I'm, I was born in Mississippi, raised in Georgia, moved down here when I was about 20. Well, in Dallas-ish. Moved to Cedar Park, or I guess like around central Texas, I think 2021. 2021 or the end of 21, which is actually the same year that I started Highland Games too. So it's kind of just liked Austin. Dallas was too much of like a concrete jungle, and I just wasn't vibing with it anymore. So I graduated at UNT, where I'm actually currently in school right now for my master's, and I wrestled. So I wrestled in college, did no sports, was like homeschooled till 8th grade. My mom wanted me to be a painter, or no, she wanted me to be a musician, and then I just kind of started wrestling my buddies one day, and I was like, I want to wrestle, and got really good at it and kept wrestling, dropped out of college for a little bit. And when I went back, they were like, hey, we have a wrestling team. Ended up becoming like an All-American Greco wrestler, and then qualified for nationals for NCWA or NWCA, one of those. I was a very heavy set kid. I was like 300, I was like tall, but I was like 300 pounds in 8th grade. And so I started working out when I was about 15 or so, just running and push-ups. And I actually went to the gym when I was 16. And the way I convinced my parents to go was because, we didn't have hot water. So I was like, hey, $20 a month, we can take hot showers and I can work out. So that was kind of like the selling point of me getting to go. And it just became my second home. So I've been lifting weights for, what's that, like 12 years? Yeah. So I was brand new. So I was dumb. I did 3 comps in a row, which I was like, I can do this. I'm a wrestler. I can do whatever. And that just completely destroyed my body. Didn't realize that traveling and competing is such a toll on your body, but I did it. And I just kept getting better. I think my second competition, I got first as a B class athlete. So they rank you like C's, B's, novice, A's, and super A's and pros. And once I did that, they all were like, you're a sandbagger. And I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. I have what they call forehead strength. So I don't think. And got my first, and that pushed me up to an A class. So I started competing in the A's and realizing how shit I was. I'm trying to get better at this. I'm supposed to have an off season, but I suck at having off seasons because I really just do enjoy it. Before, like if I'm doing like multiple comps, like for instance, like last month I did 3 travel comps. I'm not allowed to work out. Like I cannot go to the gym. I either have to be stretching or throwing. Those are the 2 things that I'm doing. Because I've realized that I do a lot better once I let my body just really rest. During off seasons though, it's a lot of heavy lifting. It's just like I'm training for a strongman / if I'm a shot putter, because it all kind of comes together for the most part. Explosivity and strength and then speed, also coordination kind of comes with the sport. I attempted 4 world records, Guinness World Records, which is, awesome. And I actually broke 2. Still waiting for the verification from Guinness because bureaucracy is just a bitch. But, I just, again, kind of like the original of how I started. I think I had just gotten laid off from a company and I was just doom scrolling and saw like a world record event, like Thor Bjornir was like throwing the keg, and that's the one that actually one of the other ones I attempted. I was like, dude, I could do that. And Barrow, they let me throw an event, I think in May, to just kind of showcase Highland Games. So I was like, hey, can I do this here? If I can find the implements to do it, can I do this here? And she said yes. So, I broke the keg over bar with one hand. Could have broke it by a lot more, but I was trying to save time. I think I got like 17 feet. 22 was definitely there. And the keg for distance, which originally was like 45 feet, and I think I almost broke 60. Again, it could have done way more, but if you're doing 4, then you're kind of like, I was mostly stressed about the sheaf toss because that can go either way.
What is that?
So sheaf is essentially you have a pitchfork and you have like a cube of hay filled with like twine, and it weighs like 8. For this instance, it was 8 pounds, and the record was broken, I think, in like 2002 in Ireland. So I was like, how dope would it be to break it in Texas and like in the States by like an American who does not do this, like like they have competitive sheaf toss competitions, which I think it's cool, but it's pretty crazy.
So, broke 2 out of the 4 events.
Yep.
You said like keg toss.
So yeah, one-handed keg toss for height and the one-handed keg toss for distance. I'll kind of like I'll go back to like why I started. It was honestly just so I can sponsor my buddies. You know, traveling, it's kind of like golf. Like if you want to do golf tournaments, you need to have golf money. If you want to like really do well in Highland Games, you have to eventually travel to meet athletic directors, be a part of like kind of like the group in general, and just like know everyone so that you eventually can get invites as a pro. And that is like, you know, you're going to California, you're going to Ohio, you're going to Georgia, you're going to all these places, kind of need money, and Nike is not knocking at anyone's door. I really want the sport to grow.
Locally or just like in general?
Just in general, I think, you know, indoor track and field is huge. There's so many track and field athletes that are like, you know, what do I do? And you don't have to just like stop your sport and play golf. Like, no offense to golf, or like I would love, like we used to be on ESPN. We used to be a more, people were more aware of the sport, but kind of like something happened. I don't know what. And I would love to be able to be a part of us being back on ESPN, us being like, you know, recognized as like elite strength athletes, because, you know, if you go to Scotland, the Braemar gathering literally has the royal family attend that event. Like that's what I'm trying to do next year, is go to the Braemar gathering in Scotland. And, you know, that's huge. That's like, imagine like throwing in front of the president of the United States. Like that's like, you can't really get any better than that. At least that's for an athlete, you know, that's like a Olympic level sport. And yeah, I would love to do whatever I can to make the sport just bigger. Like I want it to be bigger for everybody. I think it's super fun. It's like, you know, the community is really great too, because like it's just a bunch of, you know, a bunch of people just, yeah, I think they called it athletic LARPing or something like that, which I think is funny. I think Kyle Lilly said that. But no, these are like amazing athletes that, you know, I don't see myself doing another sport unless it's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or, you know, maybe strongman, but like, you know, then I have to like take a shit ton of steroids, and I'm good on that right now. Like I'm 28. I don't think I need to take steroids right now. But yeah, that's basically, you know, the goal for 2025 is go to Scotland. You can win, you can at least pay off your trip throwing in Scotland because there's a lot of prize money out there. So
Is that also a factor for you? Is prize money something you really look forward to, or is it just like an additional benefit?
honestly, I just would like to break even when it comes to like imagine not having to pay to play golf.
Yeah.
That's kind of like most of the vibe when it comes to pros. Like we like to do it. It's super fun. We all know there ain't money in it. We just kind of do it because it's like, hey, if I get good enough, then I don't have to pay to travel. And like imagine like just like getting to fly over to Scotland and throw rocks. Also, I love like the expression of like, yeah, what do you do for sport and what do you do for fun? Like, dude, I just throw rocks for fun. To me, it's like the funniest. Like, whenever I bring it up at a company, they're just like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, it's a sport, trust me. But yeah, I don't think money is a big factor in it. I think a lot of people just do it because like running an event, being an athletic director in these events, you're lucky if you break even. You're doing it just to like have fun with a group of people and like bring more people like outside and doing stuff, you know. I think social media can help with that too. Like I think it's awesome to see a lot of these athletes kind of go viral and stuff like that, because it just brings more attention. More people in local communities kind of go to a Scottish festival, more money goes to the town. It's kind of like a good cycle. But at the end of the day, you do have to take care of the athletes or just like assist them a little bit, and athletic directors do as much as they can. Like I haven't met an athletic director that doesn't try like their hardest to make that athlete feel like an athlete doing this, because I've seen guys break their arms. I've seen guys just like dislocate their shoulder, tear their oblique, all this stuff. And for what? You get like a little wooden plaque. Like, dope, that's awesome. But it's like also like, you know, it'd be great to feel like we're going towards something that isn't just like, I'm gonna feel like shit in 5 years. So I think that's honestly another reason why Dainty Brutes became a thing, and why I'm trying to do indoor games. And because like we used to be at the Arnold Sports Festival and we're no longer there.